Folks, with our digital update and gadgetry and websites and the stuff that most of us see but don't understand, I'm delighted to be joined by Ulster University Professor Kevin Curran. Kevin, good to see you.
Good afternoon, Mark.
Kevin, digital landlines, I had a row with my provider, who's not BT, by the way. Why are people still doing landlines at all? What's the difference in a landline and a digital landline? And what does it matter that BT's doing about it?
Yeah, BT are going to, well, they had initially planned by the end of 2025 to scrap all the analog, old-fashioned 40-year-old technology that we had our phone lines connected to, which is analog.
They kind of made you have one. If you fancy internet and you get a landline, you're going, I don't want a landline. And you get the landline. No, you don't want, and you had to pay the fee for it.
You did indeed, yeah. But of course, there's still so many houses, of course, new houses don't have analog lines anymore. But there's a lot of people who have had telephones for years, especially the elderly, and they're used to that. And of course, the unique thing about those telephones is that they work even during a power outage, of course. But of course, yeah.
Oh, so you're right, on the old phones, there's no plug.
Exactly.
There's no plug on the old phones. Never noticed that. There you go.
So, of course, but there's one thing, of course, but a lot of telemedicine, remote telemedicine and alarms work through the old analog system. So if BT remove that, these devices will not work in that. So, of course, there's been a backlash about it, and the elderly are one special category, of course, that they're worried about, that they won't have access to these telehealth monitors that they have. So,
and this is EE as well, because BT owns
EE.
Yeah.
So they paused it for 2 years to 2027. So,
right. Will that be time enough in your estimation?
It should for a lot, because by then a lot of these devices should have mobile, because of course they can be connected over a broadband thing as well, and they're going to also issue out these hybrid phones which work with broadband and mobile as well to a lot of these elderly people.
One to watch. Maybe worth checking if you're with BT or EE and you like the old-fashioned analog connections, as Kevin describes. Scarlett Johansson, I saw her, she's not happy about artificial intelligence. Kevin, I'm probably just of that vintage that switches off when it comes to fame and stardom and all that, actors and all the rest, and AI, because it doesn't affect my life. Of course it does affect my life, but I don't know that it does, so I switch off. Why does this matter, though?
Well, here's a case where Scarlett Johansson, of course, being a famous actress, and she starred in a movie which was about, she played the voice actually of this robotic assistant, this AI assistant, which built a bond with the human operator. But OpenAI went and approached her and asked her, would she provide a sample of her voice for this new chat assistant, which is actually quite powerful, released by OpenAI. And she said no. But they proceeded to go and sample her voice anyway, which of course you can do it anyway.
Traditionally, if you get a gig with a voiceover or an ad or whatever, you get if it's on national telly, you get big bucks.
Yeah, well, it's another case because there's even Sarah Silverman, the comedian, has sued OpenAI as well for using her material, and newspapers are trying to sue them as well because they train their data on everything on the web. But
so you think it's Scarlett Johansson doing this, but it's not her. And what is she doing in the AI thing, or not?
Well, I mean, it's just like a GPS. You can just provide sample of anything, and then it extrapolates that, and everything spoken by the assistant is in her voice.
But they could do it on you. They could do it on me.
Of course they could.
But we're not famous.
Exactly, but this is very cheeky because they did approach her and she would have had a fee for that, and then they just went ahead, right. It seems.
And why does that matter?
Well, it matters because she has no control. In other words, that she's trained to do this. That's one of the things she can do as an actress or an actor. Of course, when they've come along and just superseded all that and just decided that no, your voice is not your own. So again, we're open up to all these lawsuits in the future.
Is your voice your own? Because you're giving it away to listeners now on this radio station. So they're consuming it out there. Well, I suppose they're paying the license fee. So that's an interesting one. Is our voice spoken in public our own voice? Do we own it?
We've never had to think about this before.
Never. Is there going to be a court case, whatever, who owns Scarlett's voice?
For sure, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, where do you see it going? What's your sense of it, Kevin?
Well, in this case, it's kind of clear-cut to me. I mean, they did approach her, and then she said no, and then even 2 days before they released it. Now, they have removed it because they've got 5 different voices in their new assistant.
Right.
So they have removed it, of course, so that but it's just bad practice, really. It'd be different if they just sampled it without even approaching her, even though that's taking things for granted. But the very fact that they had approached her and she said no.
Kevin, days I wish that the internet didn't exist and you could turf the phone in the river. Not that that's the place to dispose of a phone. But look, in a minute, if you can, the internet is disappearing. It's not disappearing, but old stuff is.
There's been a survey there where 25% of web pages that they found that the links no longer worked anymore, and about 16% of these that the websites had actually disappeared. So even though we always say the internet has a
It's there forever.
Exactly, but in some cases, and it will be scraped again. But in a lot of cases, we're finding that a lot of websites are no longer there. A lot of articles are no longer there, and news sites as well. So everything is not permanent.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Well, that's a truth. That's a universal truth. Professor Kevin Curran. Kevin, thank you as always for stepping in this week. Also, University Professor Kevin Curran there. Folks, I want to talk about the factory girls in 10 minutes' time.